This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling podcasting network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Episode number 55 of Off the Top Rope Wrestling Podcast. I'm Mike, and with me as always is Rex. How's it going, Rex?
It's going good. It's going good.
All right, this week we've got some news to go over. We got some Raw, some TNA, some Christian news.
Dun dun dun.
And then we're gonna take a break and we'll talk Capital Combat 90. The Return of Robocop.
Oh, yay.
I know you love it.
Mm-hmm.
That you are marking out.
Dude, I love RoboCop.
I know.
But not in WCW. WCW ruins everything. You ruined fucking RoboCop.
You could just... We'll get into it, obviously, whenever we get there, but you could just feel like Gordon Soley's soul dying a little bit in some of those segments. But before that, let's talk about Raw. And it's kind of a weird situation right now, because as far as the storytelling aspect, particularly with them selling Bryan's injury, it kind of felt like a show that was a little bit on cruise control. But then, like, the match, this basically kind of second and third hour, a lot of the matches ended up saving the show.
Yeah, it was a very up and down Raw. Because one of the strengths of the 3-hour Raws has been extended matches. And there was a set there. We got 3 or 4 straight, just nothing squashes. That really was like killing it for me. And then the Shield saved us all once again.
The Shield being awesome. We got Cena and Harper, killing it.
Mm-hmm.
Then we also got the announcement of the Vicky Guerrero Invitational.
Oh my god.
Which I know you're excited about.
Actually, I kind of am, because it's going to be such an utter shit show. And I'm going to still hold out hope that Emma will win or Paige will somehow get invited to it. But yeah. Shit show.
How many... The Hogan Schwarzenegger segment was just, God, that was TNA long.
But you know what? I kind of loved The Miz there. The Miz in like that kind of role is perfect.
I don't know, just the last time, and I think you defended it then too, was when Michael Strahan, whenever he was out there with, who else was it? Was it him, Kofi, and Strahan? And the segment felt like a half hour, and you defended it.
No, it was Titus.
Oh, okay.
Really, Mike? Huh? All black people look alike, it seems.
No, it was months ago.
Showing your Texas roots.
Hey, it was months ago, and I remembered him having the program with Kofi, and it was like.
I know you like Michael P.S. Hayes and all, but this is going a little far with it.
You are a son of a bitch. But yeah, just
I'm sorry, The Miz cracks me up when he's doing what The Miz should be doing, which is a mid-card heel that's thrown into ridiculous situations. This is one. And Hogan got physical. Isn't that like a breach of something?
Well, you let Hogan tell it in a week, and he'll talk about all the muscles that were pulled off the bone while he was doing so, and how he willed himself through it.
Yeah. Which, of course, following that, they had to have the tease of Hogan coming out and saying that, what was it? That he might get a match at some point. He'll just never do the top low, or he'll never do the leg drop again.
Oh, Hogan.
God damn it, Hogan. But how'd you feel about the opening segment?
I thought for the most part it was good. It's kind of hard for, I loved Orton's response to Batista getting slapped. I mean, that
I
kind
didn't
of,
know I didn't know he was capable of doing that. I didn't know he was capable of expressing laughter and joy as an emotion.
it is something where you almost kind of need a baby face in there to break it up. But without that, I thought it worked about as well as it could have.
Yeah, yeah, which kind of gets to the whole Daniel Bryan not on Raw. How'd you feel about it?
Felt kind of like a waste because you only have a few episodes. You've got one more week until WrestleMania, and I understand that you want to sell this injury, but even as of on SmackDown, they were saying that Bryan was hurt, he was not medically cleared, but he'd be there anyway, and then he wasn't.
Yeah, I kind of enjoyed it. I wouldn't say enjoyed it. I like it. I thought it was kind of a good move. But then I wonder if maybe it wasn't the best move. Like, why not have Bryan try and interrupt Triple H Cole? Like, have him come through the crowd or sneak in some other way, and then you can have him swarmed and pulled away by security.
Or move it to the final segment of the show and have, I guess it'd be a soy milk truck.
Ugh, I hate that idea. Stop. I hate that everyone wants us to. It worked once when Angle did it. I don't want to see that a third time. There's diminishing utility on that.
I think it's more just, that it because it worked multiple times, it is kind of a callback for whenever they're trying to really kind of make a baby face. That it's one of the few kind of segments to where the baby face absolutely has to get over on the heels. And that's something that, particularly in Daniel Bryan's run, even whenever he's kind of had the moments, it still feels like he kind of needs that going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So speaking of like PG TV and all that stuff, what about Vicky's bitch?
Oh. Yeah. Um. It didn't. It shocked me there for a sec. I was like, oh, okay. I did kind of enjoy the entire ridiculousness of it, and that they actually used like one thing I never thought I'd see in the Divas division as it's constructed right now, continuity. There was actually continuity in the AJ Vicky stuff, and then just the reveal where she kept bringing out every single diva. Like I was expecting all the NXT divas to come out next. Like, it seems that it's their goal for WrestleMania to get every single person possible on that card.
Yeah, including, of all people, Rosa Mendez.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I even think the announcers, I kind of got to shoot like, whoa, kind of responses. Like,
Rosa Mendez, what?
I vaguely remember her.
I was kind of expecting, speaking of Michael PSAs, I was kind of expecting JBL to make a joke there, like a sly reference.
What, the sheep been over on Freebird Road?
Uh, can we bring back jump rope, Rosa? Give her something to do. I just like, you know what they do? Like, I'd love to see like all these like Renee Young interviews or backstage interviews, and then you just see Rosa jumping in the background for no reason.
I can only assume that I missed that the first time, I guess. That must have been whenever I wasn't watching.
No, it was blonde Rosa too.
Uh.
She's actually not a bad blonde. It's a good color for her. But yeah, I wonder somehow. I hope Emma ends up with the title, and maybe they'll bring Paige out. I don't know. It's like a secret weapon. I don't know. It's just gonna be absurd. It will probably end up being Tamina since that seems to be the tease. So
Well, the heavy rumor is that with them getting married a few days after WrestleMania, that particularly for the Total Divas camera, so they might want to give Brie the title, so her and Bryan each have a belt, and kind of look like they're on top of their respective divisions for the wedding. Even if they have her lose it shortly after, of course, because as Meltzer kind of wrote whenever he speculated that the title doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I didn't know they were getting married after WrestleMania. Are they taking a honeymoon after that, or are we gonna see him on break, so maybe he won't win the title?
Apparently it's the Friday after Mania. From what I read, it was April 11th. And so if they did, I assume he'd only miss like that one Raw. So the week after, the night after WrestleMania. Or knowing the way Vince likes to do people, he'd probably still show up. Because, I don't know. You think WWE in so many ways kind of have this, I hate to use the word cultish, but it's like whenever The Rock was shooting the Scorpion King, he shot around his Raw schedule so he could be there regularly, and I think Cena's done the same. It's like...
Yeah, I would like to see an off-season instituted. One, just for performer health. Two, it kind of clears up space so you can get more guys, some different experience or pushes. And then three, like if someone wants to do that kind of project, they can go out and do it. Although I wonder if they'd be wary about giving performers a time off where they could get that kind of project and get snared and pulled away permanently.
Well, the whole, I know at least back in the day, maybe it's a little safer now, and it's, although not really given the concussion things and how it kind of seemed to go, is the fear always was is that if you miss a show, someone else was going to take your spot.
Yeah. Yep.
And goodness knows, at least with like Fandango and Ziggler and stuff, that's kind of proven to be true whenever it's been guys who've been hurt.
Yeah, it is worrisome, but hopefully it doesn't end up having some sort of impact, and they are still super, super careful about that.
Now, speaking of movie roles and everything, there's apparently a report that John Cena has been cast in the new Judd Apatow movie.
Yeah. I know no details about the movie. I will assume it will be funny in some way. His movies tend to be funny, I guess. It's interesting. I wonder if he's poisoned himself for the soon retirement, maybe? I don't know.
Now, to me, I mean, one of the more interesting things, considering that they seem to be attaching themselves to bigger films now, is the film going to be produced at all through WWE studios?
I doubt it. I think Apatow has his own production. I don't know if he'll do or if maybe they'll finance it a bit like they've been doing.
Because I know that they're doing like a movie with The Rock finally. That they're
Who is?
WWE Films.
See, I thought their thing was that they're just financing other people's productions now and slapping their name on it.
I mean, that God only knows with you know.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I honestly think John Cena isn't going to be around as long as as a lot of people, the general consensus seems to be. At least as a full-time performer.
I don't know.
Especially if he's going to be getting I mean, regardless of what you think of Apatow's movies, it is a big movie. It is sort of like I don't want to really call it premiere, but I'm trying to think what to say about it. It's a more high-profile role for him. It's not, guest starring on a USA show or a WWE film. So I wonder if it is something where he realizes, this high-profile role will lead to more, and then it will turn into, well, this is kind of an easier way to to finish out, to make some money in these waning years. When's the last year Cena hasn't had to miss time due to an injury? Like at some point, no matter how much you love the business, you gotta, if you're at least halfway rational, you're gonna step aside. And I wonder if that point's coming more for him, especially as he's sort of positioning himself now as seems to be at least transitioning himself into let's put guys over now, I will be sort of that gatekeeper. I don't know, all the signs kind of point to me that he is not long as an active performer.
I mean, I think at some point, given the schedule that he's done for, the last 10 years, basically, that at some point, yeah, it might catch up to him, but, and this is kind of something that I kind of wish they'd incorporate into some of the Bray Wyatt promos, is kind of like Flair back in the day, how Flair was kind of the perfect guy for the NWA because they had to find someone who didn't really want to be home, and Flair was that guy. That you could kind of make the same case for Cena. That his entire charitable work with Make a Wish, that his entire media run and everything, why it's been kind of framed as it's all fake, but I think it'd almost be more interesting, although maybe a little too reality era, to use the phrase that Triple H officially kind of confirmed on Raw, to kind of bring up the fact that Cena never wanted to be home. That's, Cena's not doing all this out of the glory of his heart. He's doing this because he can't stand to be alone with himself.
I don't know. I think I kind of like the narrative that they're portraying, because I feel like that goes along more with the whole long term of what Wyatt has been saying, that he's going to take down our heroes. Heroes, are just a facade. I think he has to play into that with Cena. And I don't know, maybe it's something he might bring up going forward, but I don't know if they want to say that about Cena. I wonder if that's almost a bridge too far, where you start to question certain qualities about him.
See, but to me, that's what makes it interesting.
Yeah, and I don't think you're wrong there. I just think it's not something that they're gonna do.
So, speaking of the whole Cena Wyatt thing, how great was the visual of Cena in the sheep mask tied up?
Amazing. Absolutely fantastic. After a very, very good match, which saw Cena bust out his Hurricanrana, but I didn't get to see Luke Harper bust out his.
He
That
did it
pissed
on
me off.
SmackDown.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I have to go back and watch it. Damn it. Oh, I can't believe I missed that. But yeah, yeah, just a great image. The lights come on, and he's tied up in the ropes, and God, this feud is great. Everything that's going on with the Shield is great. Triple H, Bryan, Stephanie, everything's firing on full cylinders. Lesnar Taker has finally gotten me more excited storyline wise, because there's always so much I can hear Paul Heyman say the same things, even though he's good at it. There's only so many times I can hear him say something like that. And I gotta admit, I was getting a little bored with just Heyman coming out and talking, and even when it was with Lesnar or with the Undertaker on main event, I needed a bit more than that because it felt repetitious, and that's taken a big leap forward. I'm so fucking pumped for Mania.
Is it a little worrisome to you that, from all accounts, Lesnar's been taking all the bumps on the lead up for the show because Undertaker's still kind of physically shot? And there's concern that he's not able to take any of the bumps and we're 2 weeks away?
No, because I'm not sure that's really an issue. When has he taken any of the bumps leading into WrestleMania the past few years? I can't think of anything where he didn't. Where he was on the end of a beatdown.
Punk did it whenever he threw the ashes in his face and everything.
Oh yeah, all right. Yeah, I don't know.
That being said, Lesnar's been pretty awesome in bumping like he has for Taker, but still.
Yes. Did you get a little bit worried about the? I got a little worried seeing him hit the casket and shit. I'm like, oh no, oh God, don't take Lesnar.
Yeah, but Lesnar doesn't
Flashbacks
have
to
a crippling drug issue too, so he's safe from Michael's-itis.
Yeah, but he's got diaper.
Diverticulosis.
Yeah, I always get screwed up on that one. Yep. But, so I'm conflicted about something.
What?
I've been excited about the possibility of the Shield breakup, even if it is to push Reigns and let Ambrose and Rollins have more traction as a tag team for a while. But damn it, Face Shield has been awesome. Oh my God, they're so good right now, and getting over so much as babyface is I don't know it. I don't know if you need to turn the other two back on Reigns at this point.
I think it is something where, the story right now doesn't really make sense for a turn. I'm sure with an Ambrose promo you could make it work, but it'd be kind of straining it. And last week we kind of talked about it, and I mentioned that last year it seemed like Orton was going to turn heel at Mania, and they ended up, holding off on it, and he didn't actually turn really until SummerSlam. Maybe something similar happens with the Shield. Maybe they do stay together for a couple more months.
I hope so, because one, people have been getting a more appreciation for Ambrose because he's opened up his moveset as a face, and it kind of came on the heels of him talking about it also, like saying, like, listen, I'm the heel. I can't go out there and do all these extravagant things and whatnot. I can't get over like that. I can't get the babyface pops doing certain stuff. And just that bit with Cesaro and who, I don't know, are they not turning him face now? Like, what the hell is going on? Like, oh my God, their exchange with the slaps and then that fucking clothesline and shit, just the escalating bumps Rollins and Cesaro were taking. Fucking great match. Oh my God.
I will say this, though, about face shield and kind of shield in general. I don't particularly like Rollins' curb stomp as a finisher, and Peace of Mind is a terrible fucking name for it.
I agree it's a terrible name, but I love the finisher. I love it.
Particularly compared to, like, the Skywalker, which he was using in NXT. I mean, that's such a much better move.
It's like 1A and 1B for me. Flip a coin and I'll take them both. Like, damn it, face shield is awesome. I never thought I'd be like, I'm gonna be honest here. I never thought there'd be a day and age where I'd be pushing for Ambrose to play a face at any point, and now I kind of want it.
And I'm sure there'd be some great storytelling if they're all faces going into Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Damn it. I'm excited for Mania. I really am. There's so much intrigue and although I'm not of the three people. The only thing I'm upset about, I'm enjoying the storytelling and I'm loving the Shield stuff so far. But if I could create a trio for them to face at Mania, NAO and Kane are literally the last three people I would pick. Oh my God.
Yeah, it is kind of.
But, they've done good stuff with Kane plenty of times, and they're just that damn good that, I don't know, it might not even stick with NAO and Kane. It might turn out that, they bring out more of those heel tag teams that are working, which I'm kind of disappointed we haven't seen the Usos. Did we see them last week? We definitely didn't see them last night. Like, they're making a fatal four-way for them, and they're nowhere to be seen.
Didn't they lose to the Real Americans last week in a non-title match? Or was that on SmackDown?
I don't know. I don't remember seeing it on Raw.
I think it was on Raw, and during the thing it was kind of
Was it?
ironic because they didn't show any signs of the Real Americans like fighting at all, so it seemed like they were kind of backing off from that story.
Maybe that was the match. I don't know. Honestly, with main event airing live on Tuesday and Raw and NXT and SmackDown, everything blends together at some point. Like, ugh. Although I love what they've been doing with main event, I gotta admit, I love the way they're pushing it. We actually got an IC title match with Ziggler because Christian apparently has a concussion.
Again.
He's got to be done at this point, right? Like, God. Someone needs to set him aside and go, listen, stick around. Don't wrestle. We'll pay out the rest of your contract. We're not going to cut you. Get you signed to a Legends deal. Just, Edge, get on the phone and tell your boy Christian he needs to stop.
He's got a guest spot for you on his sci-fi show.
Yeah. Yeah. Boy, oh boy. Any other news this week before we get into TNA?
Well, the fact that they announced apparently the final two last week Cologne had been announced, but I guess
Oh
the
yeah,
final
yeah.
inductee into the Hall of Fame is not Scott Hall, but Razor Ramon.
I said it at the time, but there are two types of wrestling fans: toothpick flickers and gum swatters. What are you, Mike?
A gum swatter.
Damn straight.
I've never had much use for toothpicks, even with. But
Yeah. Oh God.
I was just gonna say, I mean, I don't know if it's this very kind of particular, kind of myopic way the WWE's pushing things, or if they want to save the name Scott Hall for whenever they do an induction of the NWO as a group.
I think they're saving for the NWO induction. They've got Hogan back in the fold, and Kevin Nash still needs to get in, and I think it is a thing to try and save his NWO stuff for an NWO induction.
Because, they're inducting basically Paul Bearer as Paul Bearer. I'm sure, regardless of how it kind of goes, I'm sure like his days as Percy Pringle would probably get brought up, but
Do they own any of the Percy Pringle stuff?
yeah, they own World Class.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yep. So, do you think did they announce it, or are they having Taker induct him, or what?
They haven't announced it yet.
That's gonna be weird. Although I'll be glad to see it, and I like that apparently some of the, especially I guess the Monday Night War stuff is gonna have, Taker out of character, and that's the one thing I feel like we always hear about, how much Taker understands the business and how smart he is about it and all this different stuff. I want to hear him talk about it. I want to hear his thoughts and his ideas. So I hope we get Taker inducting him out of character. Although if he did it in character, that'd be pretty fucking awesome.
Is it possible that they end up kind of swerving the expectation and having like Foley do it?
Ah, man. God, I hope not. I feel like that'd be just such a waste. Like, having Foley do it and stuff, yeah, sure. But I mean, I'd rather see Kane do it before Foley. And I don't know, I feel like it just needs to be Taker. Or Stone Cold. I would actually enjoy. I think if there is a swerve to be had, it's not going to be Foley to induct him, it'll be Stone Cold.
Why would Stone Cold?
Dude, Percy Pringle helped him out big time.
I guess I had never heard that
You didn't know
story.
about that?
No.
Yeah, I guess if I'm remembering this right, I think it was like when Rude was working with him, he recommended Austin to him and whatnot. He managed Austin for a bit before Austin got signed to WCW.
That would have to be like right whenever Austin got started, because
Yeah, it was pretty.
Bearer was signed to WWF by 90.
I'll try and look this up, but I feel like I remember reading about it at some point, and I think it was Stone Cold talking about it. If I'm wrong, I'm sure someone will tweet us and
It looks
tell
like
us how
there
wrong we are.
was some stuff in 89, as
Yeah.
apparently whenever I Google it, I'm seeing a tag team match of Chris Von Erich and Chris Adams against Steve Austin and Percy Pringle.
Yeah, I guess Pringle helped get him into USWA.
All right. So should we talk TNA? And screw job finishes, and
There's actually one thing I'm gonna compliment a bunch, and it's something I like. I didn't think that I would be enjoying as much as I have been.
what's that?
Storm Gunner. Their segment was thoroughly enjoyable, and I've been enjoying this feud more than I thought I would.
See, I think like Storm's like kind of giving it his all in that aspect, but there's still, as far as the Gunner character, I don't think his mic work is really at the level where it needs to be for this program. And another thing is they need to go 5 minutes with the character without referencing his military background.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mentioned that a while back that's been bugging me a bit how much it feels like exploitation, but I still loved it. It was such a great line with Storm talking about how how the dead grandfather is probably looking down and disappointed, and then beats the shit out of them both.
So we kind of gotta talk about the knockouts issue with them and Lei'D Tapa, that she was apparently released, shortly after the match. They kind of kept it a secret until she had her finish up match, but I don't know, it feels like such a waste given that they've dedicated hours of television to her and months of build to write her out in basically a week.
I'm going to say good on TNA. At some point, you have to realize that you're not really getting a return on your investment. And I'd rather see them use those resources elsewhere instead of trying to make Lei'd Tapa happen at this point.
I mean, was she green and not very good? Sure, but doesn't that fall on TNA for pushing her so prominently for months?
Yes, and I think you have to wonder, though, taking someone that green and giving her time with Gail Kim is going to yield benefits. And I think it wasn't so much that she was not like, oh, she's awesome now. No. But was there any improvement over that time period?
Well, in that
No.
time period, yes, she was working with Gail Kim, but it's not like she was actually working, and it's not like in the TNA segment that you're getting house shows every week where you can put them in there with someone experienced and let them actually put the work in. They had her stand at ringside for
Well, see, and I don't know if that's the case in house shows. But I have to wonder if there was something backstage or some who knows, training. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. House shows maybe. But I have to wonder if there was something where they saw, oh, she's not making any kind of the type of improvement we wanted to see. I mean, what would you? The question is, all right, it's already happened. They've tried to push her for months. It's not working out. What would you rather see them do? Cut bait with her and use that money elsewhere, or use that time spot elsewhere? I mean, or continue to try and make it happen and beat our heads against the wall with it.
I don't know. As I said, it just feels like given the resources already invested, and by that I mean time, not just television time, but like the number of months they've kind of pushed her as the biggest badass, knockout there is, someone that was so scary that not even, the ace of the division, which was Gail Kim for the longest time, want anything to do with her. As I said, I mean, I don't know, it feels like a series of blunders, which to me strikes me as very TNA in total. And I read an interview with Gail Kim, and she basically attributed it to Tapa still being so green.
Which is where I was kind of getting the idea that it was lack of improvement. But I mean, at some point you just got to cut bait with a bad investment, and Lei'D Tapa was a bad investment.
If only they still had a developmental territory to have people actually being able to work out on it on a regular basis.
Have they cut bait with
Oh yeah.
AEW? I don't recall ever seeing anything
Yeah,
about it.
whenever like they first started cutting back on expenses, that's why they brought Shaw and everybody else to TV.
Oh,
Was
okay.
because they had them all moved to Orlando because they were cutting with OVW.
Did anything with Shaw happen on TNA? I don't remember anything this past Thursday with Shaw,
God, I don't.
which
No, I
disappoints
don't
me
think he
because it
was
has
on the show.
been absurdly hilarious. Though, if I'm TNA at this point, I sit there and I pick off indie talent. As you're starting to let a lot of these older contracts go, like Bad Influence, you gotta not. You don't even have to go for like the top tier that may not want to come to you because they still have a chance at WWE, but there's a lot of talent out there for you to scoop up at a cheaper rate than what you're going.
So
So,
speaking of kind of the, I guess, top tier indie talent, given that Kevin Steen and Roderick Strong just tried out for WWE and NXT,
did they?
yes,
Oh, I didn't know it had actually
that
happened
it was
yet.
apparently this week.
I know Elgin had talked about Steen getting an invite, but he didn't,
That
despite the rumors.
Steen's Ring of Honor contract apparently ends in June.
Ooh.
And he said that he doesn't want to re-sign with the company. That he
Ooh.
would be willing to work with them, like on a per appearance stuff, like Strong is doing and like Kira's doing, but that
Mm-hmm.
he wanted to,
Branch
yeah.
out, not deal with them.
Do you think that
That's,
if TNA made an offer that he'd take it if basically WWE said no,
huh.
or Strong for that matter?
I think Strong might. Kevin Steen's a weird one. Because I think if it wasn't with WWE, I think he commands enough from other indie companies that he would appreciate the freedom more. Now, where I think would be an interesting case is not TNA. Jeff Jarrett, who are apparently looking to make a splash.
With the Steen
And,
stuff, something I kind of got to throw in here, sorry, is that apparently Steen had lost quite a bit of weight for the tryout.
well, good for him.
And that, apparently he didn't have any issues with the endurance drills, which a lot of people, it kind of,
I mean, he's a bigger dude, but he's never. Is there any point in a match where you've said, oh, Steen can't keep up? Like, he doesn't look like a super athletic dude, but he is. And is there ever, I don't think I've ever seen a match where I think Steen is really gassed, unless it's like part of the story. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, I think he definitely, he's not he's not Yokozuna 1996, but that he is someone that, if you put him and let's say AJ Styles in the ring at the same time, have them going through, he's going to get gassed before Styles does, which, isn't a slam.
Yeah, but I think the point is that is there any, like, yeah, that's going to happen if you sit there and keep wrestling them until one of them gasses, but I think there's no point where it's become an issue in a match because his gas has been good enough to last as long as they've asked him to go. And it's not like he's, going out there and just wrestling 10 minutes every night.
But with Steen, it's kind of interesting. He seems like someone, and I wonder if, you know, his build has something to do with it. Has he really had any tours with Japan
Um,
outside
oh
of like a
man.
one shot here or there?
Not that I can recall off the top of my head. And I also, with Steen, and you think of overseas tours, you have to ask the question, was it something where he just decided not to do it because of his son? Which was apparently for a long time like a major factor with him not even thinking of the WWE option was he didn't have to work the WWE schedule.
It's possible, although obviously, a Japanese tour would be what, 3-4 weeks?
Depends really. I mean, I feel like 4 weeks at the minimum is what most guys do, and often a little bit more than that. But I mean, getting back to getting back to like your idea of Steen to TNA, I don't know if TNA can offer him enough money. And who knows? Maybe they can, maybe they will. I don't know if they will offer him enough money to make it worthwhile for him not to be able to pick his own schedule, have a bit more creative freedom. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? Anything else?
Not really.
Yeah. Sweet. Come back and talk some fucking WCW. Early 90s WCW.
That's where you're wrong. It's NWA. We're going to be talking NWA.
Oh, shut the fuck up. I hate you. Danzig bastard.
Just because you're upset that this show was better than any of the ones that you've picked lately.
Oh, okay. One of these days, I'm going to reach through the internet and strangle you.
All right, let's go ahead and take a break. Whenever we come back, we're going to be talking RoboCop, the Junkyard Dog, Doom, and Cat of Nine Tails. It's going to be Capital Combat, the Return of Robocop. We'll be right back.
How did you not mention RoboCop until the Return of Robocop?
I did at the very beginning.
Oh.
Jeez, open your ears.
Dude, I just heard Doom and I went red with rage.
You see, life is greatness, and greatness is what you make out of, you understand?
Hey everybody, it's Mike and Rex from Off the Top Rope. We wanted to take this break to let you know all the ways you can interact with the show and all the ways you can listen to the show. You can get links to everything we talk about here from our website, which is offthetoprope, one word, .libsyn. That's LIBSYN.com.
If you want to email the show, it's topropepodcast@gmail.com. We'll read your comments on the air, so let us know what you think.
To follow us on Twitter, we're at Top Rope Podcast. We tweet show updates, post the show as soon as it's up, retweet news from around the world of wrestling, and sometimes it's just random wrestling thoughts by yours truly. All wrestling talk, all the time on Twitter.
You can now like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Top Rope Podcast. This is still new, but we're going to be working on adding pictures, links, and all kinds of good stuff.
You can follow us on Tumblr at topropepodcast.tumblr.com. There we post matches of the day, wrestlers of the day. We try and update those just about every day. We add random photos, lots of fun stuff. Now if you want to listen to us, you can listen to us through an RSS reader. If you want to listen to the show through an Android app like Dogcatcher, Linux program like Rhythmbox, or a Windows program like Media Monkey, among many others, this is the way you do it. You'll make sure the episodes are delivered to you just as soon as they're uploaded.
If you're on iTunes, we're available there too. Just do a search for Off the Top Rope. Look for our logo, subscribe, give us a good review.
We're also available on Stitcher. Just search Off the Top Rope or Pro Wrestling. Either way, we're right there on the front page. There are lots of ways to interact with the show and lots of ways to get the show to your computer, iPhone or iPad, Android device, BlackBerry, whatever you use to listen to podcasts. We hope you check us out, and we'll be right back with the show review.
Take a look at it, learn to love it. I'm not going anywhere.
Alright, so we're about to talk some Capital Combat, the Return of Robocop. But before we do that, last week on the show I mentioned that I had ordered a t-shirt of my own, which we have on sale right now at prowrestlingtees.com/offthetop-rope. You can find it if you go to our Twitter. You can find, we obviously have, we've been advertising it the hell out of it, so it shouldn't be hard to.
Mine's in the mail, and I can't wait.
But yeah, my shirt came in today. It looks great. I sent a big tweet out to Rex and to Adam, who obviously, Adam gets so much credit for this, but it's, he came up with the visual identity and everything, but it's such a weird feeling, and it's so gratifying to see, something that Rex and I, obviously, we've been putting in over a year of work into this thing, and to see something like this, which, yes, it is a custom printed t-shirt, through the site, but still it's something that it's kind of a physical representation of everything that we've put in. So.
Yeah, it's just motherfucking badass. That's what it is.
Yes.
Because, you know what? They look damn fucking good.
Absolutely.
They look good. Oh.
Absolutely. So, you ready to get into some Southern as hell wrestling?
Wrestling? Let's wrestle.
As it kicks off with a confidential file on RoboCop.
God damn it, RoboCop.
But then we go to our opening 6-man tag, which is a kind of a weird situation.
Yeah.
It's kind of got two fairly random teams. The heel team makes a little more sense, even though there's no real reason for them to be together, but it's Kevin Sullivan, Cactus Jack, and Bam Bam Bigelow.
Two phenomenal workers and Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah, but at this point, I think Kevin Sullivan had his moment still. It's not Florida Sullivan, but it's still not quite Taskmaster Sullivan either.
Was Florida Sullivan even all that great?
With Sullivan, it's never really so much about the work so much as just the presence, and and that's one thing. Even throughout it all, for someone that's fucking 5'4", he had presence out the ass.
All right.
And
you say so. Granted, I will be the first to admit, I have not caught a ton of his other stuff. So I'll be the first to feign ignorance. It was actually a legitimate question. Was Kevin Sullivan all that great?
But, Florida wasn't really, obviously, the Flair window match we reviewed last year was from Florida, but Florida wasn't really a work rate territory per se.
That's the damn card. You bastard.
Okay, yeah, but
God.
it's like WWF 80s. Florida's not that different, although, it's far grittier and it's far more Southern, but it's more it's more the characters and the stories, and if you happen to get a good match, then hey, there's a bonus.
Yeah, but
tell me who this trio of bad people are facing.
My favorites. The Legion of Doom and Norman the Lunatic.
Now, for people who might not be that familiar with Norman the Lunatic, describe the character.
It's like a dude in his pajamas that goes crazy. I'm not sure how to describe it.
Basically what it is.
Oh, there's the key. The fucking key.
Whenever they started the character, it's played by Mike Shaw, perhaps better known as Bastion Booger.
Yeah, I completely forgot about the backstory. You got me. Now, yeah, this is ridiculous. I forgot
Brought
about
in kind of as a heel under the guise of Teddy Long and supposed to be like this dangerous guy. And then he turns babyface, and it's basically take Bastion Booger, give him hair, and put him in scrubs and tell him that he's playing the Eugene gimmick. And that's the Norman the Lunatic we get here.
it. And he wears a key while he's wrestling that's supposed to symbolize that's like his key to the asylum or some shit.
Well, it was part of like the character's like liberation from Teddy Long, because for a long time Long controlled the key, and he
Ah.
threatened to send him back if he didn't obey him.
But yeah. There wasn't much to this match besides Mick Foley being Mick Foley and bumping his ass off in insane ways.
Yeah, that I will not argue much at all. It's very much the Foley bump show, and
Yeah, because I think I would hope, to the new listeners out there that may be joining us, I am not a Road Warriors fan. Don't like them. I think they might be the most overrated tag team in the history of professional wrestling. God, ugh.
my feeling with the Road Warriors is the death of the territorial system is the absolute worst thing that could have happened to them. Because whenever it's a situation where, they're very charismatic and they have their spots, but they pretty much just have their spots. And whenever it was a situation where they could go to Georgia for 3 months and be really over, and then go up to Minneapolis and work the AWA for 3 months, and then go work, North Carolina, go work Crockett, and, kind of bounce around and do tours of Japan and everything, that helped protect them. And once they were no longer in that situation, had to do an extended stay somewhere, that's whenever you saw the cracks in the armor.
Well, and part of my problem with it is I think in my mind too, they look really bad in comparison to every other tag team that was near the top in their own era. Not even talking cross era stuff. There were so many other great tag teams there that I just don't understand the complete praise for the Road Warriors.
I mean, it's, not that dissimilar from the Ultimate Warrior love. I mean, there were these big roided up guys and face
But
paint and shoulder pads.
I can understand maybe in the time, but do people still look back and go, Ultimate Warrior was awesome and great? I feel like a time has passed and we have a fair judgment on what Ultimate Warrior is and was. I don't think we have that with the Road Warriors. And I'll say it, I think the Ultimate Warrior is better than both of them.
I think to a large part there is this kind of, and that's the big part. I mean, work rate people, your Meltzers and your like, it wasn't as big in the 80s, early 90s as it is now, but it was there. They always hated the Road Warriors. But it's just, they were a team that traveled so much and was so dominant, they were able to get all the kayfabe awards, and I don't think it's that dissimilar to the Ultimate Warrior fan following that's still out there.
Well, and I think some of the problem that bugs me a little bit with it is people excuse it as, oh, they're just brawlers. That's their style. Brawling can be done absolutely phenomenally. And there were lots of guys during this time doing it amazingly. That were actually, I'm not even, just thinking just work rate. I don't think they were good at telling a story in a match.
Oh, absolutely not. They couldn't sell.
They couldn't sell. And even just outside that, it really just felt like a complete manic Hulk smash without being as awesome as the Hulk. And I think that's just what bugs me more is people want to excuse it away as, oh, well, they're just brawlers. Well, Stan Hansen is a brawler, and guess what he was doing this time period? Fucking awesome shit. Dr. Death, Steve Williams. I mean, all these there were a lot of great, more Hoss type dudes, the Steiners, that are doing great things in this time frame that I think it's just a lazy reason to try and pass it over and go, oh, well, they didn't need to be good at wrestling.
I largely agree, but it's the kind of issue that wrestling's always had. Road Warriors didn't really have to be great wrestlers because they were stars.
Yep.
But
and you know what? I get that. They were stars. That's going to happen. I think it's the reflection back now of still saying they're great wrestlers. No, they were great stars.
And that's maybe the issue. I don't see people advocating them as great wrestlers. I don't really see that even among brawlers. I mean, they're high on like the WWE's kayfabe list and stuff, but I don't see that coming from actual people.
They won the Cage Fight tournament for greatest tag team. I've seen various like overrated, underrated, type discussions elsewhere where it's like so many people with all this love heaped upon them, and I don't think it's deserving. But yeah. Dude, let's get to my boy, Johnny Ace.
I will say this, though, given the thing, I mean, Norman was incredibly over here.
Yeah. I was shocked by that.
Well, and it was kind of the thought that I remember at the time, like, I don't remember where I read it, but somebody had mentioned that he was basically their number 2 babyface as far as popularity and merchandise and everything went at this point behind Sting. And that was basically why they had to turn Luger after Sting injured himself, was because otherwise you'd be looking at basically Ric Flair versus Norman the Lunatic.
Oh my God. Can you imagine that? Did that ever happen?
Maybe on TV?
Oh man. Come on, network. Give me the old school episode where it's Ric Flair versus Norman the Lunatic.
But yeah, from there we go to Johnny Ace versus someone named Mean Mark.
Yeah. I don't know who this Mean Mark fella is, but he is a tall-ass ginger dude.
With a really shitty mullet.
Yes, and chaps. I gotta admit, when you watching this, I was sitting there thinking, oh, this is Mike as a wrestler when he was talking about his idea to be a wrestler. It was not Barry Windham, but Mean Mark.
Hey,
in terms of look, because you got the ginger stuff going on a bit.
To some extent, I'm not that ginger, and I know better than to rock a mullet.
At that time, would you have known better?
I'd like to think so.
But you know what this match reminded me a lot of? Our match last week, Bret Hart versus Isaac Yankem. In terms of very raw, Mean Mark, and Johnny Ace trying his damnedest to put on a good match, and it just falls short.
To some extent, this one helps because I think it runs like 8 minutes compared to 16.
Yes.
But I mean, like, Ace is doing running dives to the outside and stuff, and it's, even if the camera missed it.
Yeah, damn WCW production.
Which, yeah, you kind of see him coming out of the corner of the screen. It's like, holy shit, that looks cool. But that's all you catch because it's focused on Mark on the outside.
Oh, there is a Norman the Lunatic versus Brian Pillman match on YouTube. But yeah, people forget, like, since most of his great work happened in Japan, Johnny Ace was actually a very damn good wrestler.
that to me is a little. He was good. I wouldn't put the damn on it.
Oh, as a tag team wrestler, he was damn good.
He was usually, though, in a lot of those All Japan matches. Admittedly, the competition he was with was very. He's usually the weak link.
Okay, but you're talking about the weak link with like some of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Like you throw, I mean, you throw a 98% of wrestlers in there, and they're gonna be the weak link. Ugh.
But one thing that was kind of cool here was some of the moves that Mean Mark was pulling out.
Yeah,
Like, relatively high spots for him. I mean, he was doing, like, these stalling vertical suplexes and moves that, like, he never used again once he became The Undertaker.
yeah. I was like, where was this stuff for so many years? There was a couple of spots in there I was like, why didn't he keep that? And then, of course, we see him get to do his little tightrope walk.
Yeah, but it wasn't, with the guy holding him. It was his finish.
Yeah.
An elbow drop from the middle of the top rope.
Yeah. Which was nice. I kind of liked it, although that entire spot has always seemed weird to me. Like, I don't, it's one of those things that it's like, I don't know. Like, why walk the rope and then do it? What benefit are you gaining?
I mean, theoretically, leverage from a better spot, better starting point based on where your opponent is. I don't know. But even then, it'd probably be easier just to turn your opponent before you do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's impressive to see a big guy walk the rope like that, but it's just like, I've never been a fan of the old school spot. There was a lot of mullets on this card.
Yeah, there was.
There's a lot of mullets and a lot of blonde mullets.
And at least in the main event alone, kind of gives the show a lot of blood too.
Yes. Yep. No, it's a Ric Flair cage match. What do you expect? But before we get there, we have the unfortunate job to review the next two matches.
Well, to be fair with the next match, there are two nice things I can say about the match.
That it ended at some point?
Number one, it was very short.
What? No, you're skipping ahead.
Long versus Ellering's next, isn't it?
No, it's Samoan SWAT team. And Rich and Rotunda.
Okay, you're right.
A match that goes on forever.
You're right. Sorry, the review I'm using is kind of my guide to remember whenever all the interview spots and everything were. It cut it out, not that I blame them.
Well, they might have had the turnover.
No, it's not the Turner because it's got like the undercard stuff on it.
Oh, my God.
He just omitted that match. Again, not that I blame him.
No, that...
And it's one that you actually said you were kind of interested in. And, like, there is...
I know.
Is it was Tommy Rich and Mike Rotunda against the Samoan SWAT team. And really the only thing that's, like, super interesting in the match is how much, like, traditional Southern stalling and stooging and stuff the Samoans are doing here. They're wrestling like the Samoans. They're wrestling kind of like they're trying to be the Freebirds or something.
That's exactly what this world needs, is Samoan Freebirds. Oh, man. God. I was kind of looking forward to this match, and they let me down. And it went on forever and ever and ever. It was longer than the freaking main event. Let's get to Ellery and Long. Because, God, is there anything else to talk about this match?
No.
Yeah, there was.
All right, so
God.
yeah, Samoans win with like a cheap finish too. After 17 minutes, they couldn't even have a real finish.
WCW. Oh, sorry. NWA.
But
But hey, we get some classic NWA WCW referee in here. I gotta admit, I kind of guiltily enjoyed this just because Long came out in the boxing gloves and the headgear. Oh,
well, this was the one that I was actually going to say that there are two positives to the match. One was that it was short, and the other was Missy Hyatt in that dress.
I just. There's three. I love the whole bit about Long having the loaded glove. And Ellerling whacks it with him and pulls out the loaded like weight or whatever and tosses it out in front of the ref after having used it, and the ref's just like, whatever. 3 count.
Could you imagine a disqualification in like a hair versus hair match?
What hair was there from either of these guys?
Yeah.
Like, this was like the most pointless hair versus hair match. Did Ellerling even have anything to lose? Like, I thought he already had like a buzz cut.
Ellering basically, yeah, had a buzz cut, and Long had the horseshoe haircut because he was losing all his hair anyway.
Yeah. Ew. Oh, man. This is a mess. And this is how, oh, God. Just, yeah, it was under 2 minutes. So, at least they followed up with the best match of the night.
It's up there.
I enjoyed it more than the cage match.
Okay. I know that you don't feel strong about the third. I think the top 3 matches are all really strong and all really in the kind of the same atmosphere.
Ooh. I know, yes, I don't know if it's made, but I know yesterday I was saying it wasn't good. I went and rewatched the third match. I'd call it good, but low end. But I think the other two are significantly higher than it.
But before we get that, we get Sid looking incredibly uncomfortable in a tuxedo.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? This is why I hate you. This is why, you know what? All the crappy wrestling we see on this card, the one reason I despise you for making me watch this is that I had to watch Sid Vicious be a member of the Horsemen in a tuxedo while no one else is even wearing a suit jacket. So, oh no! Wait! Shivani was wearing a tuxedo. It's Sid Vicious in a tuxedo, standing behind Tony Schiavone in a tuxedo, but everyone else is just wearing button-ups, opened up, or like a polo.
But at least Sid didn't drop anybody on his head this time.
Yeah, at least there's that. And the best part was the bow tie wasn't even like sized properly for like a man of Sid's stature. It was just the tiniest little thing. It almost looked like honestly, it was probably a clip on. It was so little tiny that the actual folds of his shirt were covering the tie. Oh my god, it looked like a choker collar.
Sid looks like his mom dressed him.
Oh,
He gets to the arena, looks at the other guys. Hey, where are you guys' tuxedos?
can I just say, a side note, WWE just had their new countdown come out, and it was Biggest Blunders, and they actually had Sid talking about him being, basically, the entire blunder was Sid Vicious. There wasn't a specific thing. It was every promo we ever got. Which it
Although,
actually kind of shocked me there for a sec when the number 10 came up as Sid Vicious. I'm like, oh no, they're doing the leg thing, aren't they? They're doing the leg. They're doing the leg. Oh god.
that being said, there was something this missed, and that was, we should probably talk about it first. Gordon Soley in the back trying to get some news from Sting and RoboCop.
Well, the sign says no entrance, so I guess no one's allowed in there.
You could feel Gordon Soley beginning to regret all the years he spent in wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. If you ever want to see a man's soul die, watch Gordon Sully do Capital Combat.
And it is like the weirdest kind of situation for Sully, because we watched like Great American Bash 90, where he had that incredibly awkward interview with Lex Luger where Luger's not facing him and he keeps turning to the camera and it's like, what do I do? What do I do?
Oh, poor Gordon.
Seriously, WCW, whenever you have someone who's on the short list for one of the greatest play-by-play men of all time, don't have him doing fucking interviews.
I know. God damn. Fucking Sid Vicious was a force. And I knew this, and I know it, but I don't want to have to be reminded of it, you bastard.
That being said, I have some issues with that countdown show. I watched it last night.
Oh yeah? I haven't seen it all yet. I saw like the first 5.
Oh. Well, one of them, in a similar situation, is our boy.
Scott Steiner.
It's Scotty fucking Steiner.
Which, damn it, I wish they had the TNA taping.
Steiner is
Tape
not
library to add.
a blunder. Steiner is magic.
143% magic.
It was him building this loose cannon psychopath character, and it was brilliant. Fuck you, Countdown.
Hey, blame the WWE Universe, apparently.
Well, fuck them too.
Scott Steiner's a genius who...
Scott Steiner was the best heel in wrestling at that point because he pulled off his character so well that you genuinely thought he might be crazy enough to do all that shit. Yes, his promos were nonsensical.
Steiner was not the best heel in wrestling. He was just the best.
Okay, I thought for a second there you were actually going to try and debate me, and it's like... You better not fucking say Triple H, boy.
Well, we all know that's the real answer, but...
No.
But, I once saw Scott Steiner tag team with my JV high school football coach in my school gym against Kamal the Giant. This is chainmail wearing Steiner we're talking about, too. It was awesome.
Now, that being said, if I was to say that Steiner was not a blunder on the mic, this show is not one I'd use to make that.
No.
Because the Steiner brothers cut a promo here where you can just see them losing their train of thought.
Well, did Rick Steiner ever have a train of thought in the first place? I'm not sure that man's ever had a train of thought.
Arguably.
But let's talk awesome tag team wrestling.
I kind of want to talk that Steiner Brothers promo because I don't remember exactly where in the show it was.
We'll then talk about it. Go.
It's like Steiner kind of gets in this thing and he's kind of talking about the show. It's like, if you come here looking for a wrestling match, we're not going to wrestle you, Doom. And then there's like this awkward pause where he's kind of trying to figure out, it's like, what the fuck did I just say? And it's like, you're going to get beat up.
Like, I think it's the most self-aware Scott Steiner's ever been.
Well, of course, the big bad booty daddy cannot be self-aware.
Listen, when you've got freaks and peaks, I mean...
Exactly.
God, I love Scott Steiner.
That being said, that countdown show does have our boy, Cesaro, reciting word by word one of Steiner's most oddball promos.
Can I just say that I could die happy? having seen that, I can die happy. It may be the single greatest thing that WWE has ever produced. Oh my God, can we get Scott Steiner to replace Sam Coulter and manage Cesaro when he breaks off from Real Americans? Can we get, or at least a tag team even, can we get something where Cesaro and Steiner are sharing a screen together?
I'd rather just get Cesaro doing a Steiner homage gimmick. He could be the new Big Bad Booty Daddy.
You better be wearing some chainmail.
Of course.
Oh my God, you know how hard I would mark out if I heard the siren and out came Cesaro?
Oh, it'd be the greatest moment in the history of wrestling.
It would be. God damn it. See, now nothing Cesaro ever does in his career will satisfy me because he will never have been Scott Steiner. Oh, man. And this makes it seem like we have a bad match to talk about.
No, but whenever you've got Scott Steiner and Cesaro and terrible promos and awesome promos to talk about, you want to spend a few minutes talking about it.
Yep. But seriously, let's get to this match because it's awesome and it's got the Z-Man.
Yes, that's the reason why the match is awesome.
The match is awesome because of the Z-Man.
Nothing to do with the other 3 men in the ring.
Nope, it was all the Z-Man who spent most of his time on the apron. Wanting that tag. No, but really, Brian Pillman bumps his motherfucking ass off here. Oh, God. Can I just say, though, it got a little annoying that I had to sit there and listen to JR call him Beautiful Bobby every time.
But he is Beautiful Bobby.
And whatever it was, Stan. I'm blanking now. What was the adjective for Stan?
Sweet Stan.
Sweet Stan. It just it just grated on me so much. Especially since they were quick tagging a lot. So it was like Beautiful Bobby tags in Sweet Stan. Sweet Stan with an elbow drop. Tags in Beautiful Bobby. Beautiful Bobby with a kick. Tags in Sweet Stan.
There are a few things. I don't know. The one thing that JR did in this one, which always kind of annoys me whenever he overdoes it in Jim Cornette matches, is he used the old line about Cornette being a doubles champion with a male partner.
Oh, yeah.
He used that joke a lot in Jim Cornette matches.
Yeah.
And at least it wasn't as bad as what he'd do during the World Tag title match.
Oh, yeah. We'll save that for later. But yeah, this match was awesome.
I mean, he might as well have just been whipping his dick out and jerking off to college football in that match, but we'll get there.
He does it in this match, too.
A little bit, but...
I'm a Bengals fan, and I got sick of hearing about Brian Pillman and Boomer Esiason and the party in Cincinnati for Capital Combat. Every city in America was having a Capital Combat party, apparently.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, it's an event that you wouldn't want to miss.
No, it's got the return of motherfucking Robocop. Which, was there some other prior thing where Robocop was involved with NWA?
No, just the return stuff was because they were promoting Robocop 2.
Okay.
And apparently, like, the deal was basically put together outside of Herd and the wrestling people.
Oh, that was a favorite little bit I loved in this thing, too. As they're having to excuse away the ignoring of rules. Well, the ref must have decided that he didn't mean to throw him over the top rope. After he blatantly throws him over the top rope.
Because apparently something I'd read about the show is the movie people wanted one of the WCW heels to bump for RoboCop.
God.
And that was one thing that the wrestling people were able to say, no, we're not doing that.
Thank God. So that explains why the Horsemen didn't attack RoboCop
Yeah.
or even try. I'm actually kind of disappointed that they didn't at least try.
But you did get, although obviously, I mean, let's talk about the match first. But you got Sid just kind of standing there while RoboCop walked right by him.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I was. Can we talk about how awesome that Pillman and Zank were as a tag team?
They had a lot of potential. I mean,
Damn injury.
well, and it was more that, with people coming into power, they didn't want them as a tag team. So
Why? Unless the reason was put the world title on Pillman, which it wasn't.
no. Pillman is someone that I think is kind of an interesting case because it seems like whenever there were Booker changes and stuff, it seems like he often got the short end of the stick, and it kind of feels like he was never someone that was really designed to get over, and yet he always did, and so they always had to do something with him.
Yeah, and talk about like a man that had so many tag teams that, or at least like the potential. So many like missed opportunities. It feels like Pillman and Zank. The Hollywood Blondes getting broken up way before they should have.
WCW for a while there was teasing a Pillman and Liger team.
Oh my God. Jesus, that would have been the greatest thing of all time. Oh.
They were in the tag team tournament that they ran in '92.
Oh, I gotta go watch that now. Please tell me that was pay-per-views, so it's on the network.
One of the matches is, the other match, the match with Benoit and Wellington was from a Clash.
Damn, I'm gonna have to find that Clash.
I want to say it's like 18 or 19.
But yeah, and then obviously the whole Attitude Era was basically made for Brian Pillman, and then he died. Pillman's got a gun. But yeah, the Midnight Express gets the win.
Yes. Cleanly.
Clean? No, it wasn't.
It was fairly clean.
Not...
I mean, with Jim Cornette at ringside, you kind of expected more clusterfucky than just illegal man with a savate kick.
to the back of the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, slightly disappointing finish, actually.
Yeah, that was the one part of the match that kind of
Like I was hoping for something bigger, especially when the Z-Man comes in with hot fire like that off the tag. Dude, this show has made me a fan of the Z-Man.
You were already a fan of the Z-Man.
Damn it. I don't want to talk the next match.
Well, before that, we could talk about Doug Furnas, the world's strongest man. Oh, and by the way, the injury that they kept talking about with the match, with Luger being basically sick as hell and being in the hospital, that was legit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we gotta talk the RoboCop stuff, essentially, don't we? That's after this match.
Got that, and then we've got Junkyard Dog.
JYD.
Which is, like, honestly, probably my favorite JYD moment of all time, and that's with me saying that I haven't watched any of his Watts stuff, so I can't. But he's awesome in this show.
Alright, let's talk some RoboCop. So Sting comes out to confront the Horseman?
Yeah.
By himself for some reason.
Whenever he's got fucking RoboCop.
Well, RoboCop wasn't out there with him yet.
Yeah, but they were in the locker room together. He could have said, "Hey, RoboCop, have my back."
Well, it kind of makes him look like a dumbass for walking out there without RoboCop.
Sting being a dumbass in regards to the Horseman? No, never.
So the Horsemen lock Cornette in the cage at ringside that I don't think we actually mentioned in the tag match. Cornette was locked in a cage.
Yeah.
So the Horsemen lock Sting in the cage, and of course RoboCop comes strutting out and rips open the cage. The end.
Which honestly, given everything they could have done involving RoboCop, that was pretty light.
Yeah, like the Horsemen didn't try and attack him and get shedded, or he didn't shoot anybody, which was kind of disappointing.
He wasn't involved in the main event. Sting had to go out there again by himself.
Yeah. Yeah. God damn it. RoboCop.
But then we have Doug Furnas give an interview, and he just doesn't really do much, but he's like, I don't know what world Doug Furnas would be the world's strongest man in, but
I don't know either.
which I'm sure he's a very strong guy, but that nickname has like certain connotations to it, and he's
No Kazmaier.
or Mark Henry, or
Yeah.
there's nobody in Doug Furnas's Hall of Pain. Except maybe the fans sometimes.
That's probably a good thing. Oh, wait. Okay. There actually is something that Furnas can claim to be the world's strongest man.
What?
He was a world powerlifting champion and set multiple world records.
Oh, really?
Yeah, according to the Wikipedia.
Huh. Because he's kind of a small dude.
Oh, it was for the 275 class?
Huh.
Initially a 242 lifter. Yeah. Well, powerlifters are also generally shorter dudes.
Well, then I take it back. He can be the world's strongest man.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, oh, holy shit, dude. Actually has a pretty good claim at it for a while there, looking at this shit.
All right.
Oh, sorry, Doug Furnas.
But then they go and they introduce JYD. And Cornette comes out because he's annoyed because it's supposed to be his interview time because his guys just won the titles.
Yes.
And as I said, just something that is just like this really great moment. They make reference to JYD's WWF run. And Cornette asks him where he's been the last few years. And JYD gives an address in Louisville, Kentucky. In the story, what was that address?
I can't remember specifically. Go for it.
Well, no, just what was Cornette's reaction whenever he said the address?
Shit. I honestly don't remember.
That's my mama's house.
Oh.
and JYD's response, as I said, probably my favorite thing with the character ever. That's right, I'm your daddy.
Yes.
We need more of that JYD, less of the wrestling JYD.
Yes. Although, I hear there's some decent JYD stuff out there.
As I said, I mean, I haven't seen any of his Mid-South stuff, and so...
Damn it, Network, give us some Mid-South stuff.
Yes. That's one of the great things about the network, and in some extent, because it feels like they haven't even scratched the surface of some of the cool stuff, though.
Not even of their own library. Like, they're just like the old school stuff they keep releasing a little bit and a little bit. Which I gotta admit, I guess is a smart way to go about it. Instead of dumping it all on us at once. Oh, a new old school. Let me go watch that. So then you can kind of see everyone, I guess.
But, like, you know, they haven't used any AWA, they haven't used any Mid-South, they haven't used
anything non-WWF, ECW, or NWA, WCW.
They've got World Class on there.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Come on, Rex. Quit being wrong.
Shut up.
I know that
That's
you're
my
used to being
job.
wrong, but
It's my job on this podcast. Pimp Triple H and be wrong on pedantic details. Damn it, I really can't wait for the NWA stuff. I think that's the stuff I'm most excited for. Some Bockwinkel. I'm Mark for Bockwinkel.
I'm excited for that stuff, and I'm excited because it's already all been digitized for 24/7. I want the 80s World Championship Wrestling stuff up there.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the Rock and Roll Express and the Freebirds hitting each other with S&M gear.
Very true. Very true.
And something that I feel like was stripped from your dreams and put on TV.
Absolutely. And you know what the best thing about it was? 2 weeks after being annoyed with them for editing out Bad Street. Bad Street is back, or maybe it's just edited out in some shows for some weird reason.
What if like Hayes like leveraged them and was like, hey, wait a second, you can't use Bad Street without paying me. Cough it up.
Pay me in divas and beer.
God. So that's how Rosa Mendes got back on TV. Michael Hayes got a deal for Bad Street. But yeah, you want to tell the story about the
All right, what I read was that apparently it fell on David Crockett. He was supposed to go buy belts for their corporal punishment match. And apparently in Washington D.C., he couldn't find belts.
Yeah, it's not like there's like a Brooks Brother every other corner or a million suit shops in Washington, D.C.
And so his compromise is he goes to a sex shop and buys some Cat of Nine Tails. And that's what they use to administer the corporate punishment.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And the match is not very good.
No. It's not.
It's like one of the worst big Rock and Roll Express matches I can remember.
Well, they're pretty much past their prime at this point.
To some extent, but I mean,
And they're in there with the Freebirds. I mean, come on.
They've still got some really good stuff to go with, or at least around the same time with the Midnights. Although I'm sure, I get a feeling that if you I haven't seen any of their stuff from a few years ago, but I have a feeling even that's probably far more watchable than it has any right to be.
But yeah, this was. I can't. I mean, I can't even think of one good thing that I enjoyed about this match. Oh wait, there was one. I just enjoyed how pissed off Michael Hayes was the entire match.
That's kind of a weird spot for the Freebirds because in a few months they go really flamboyant kind of heel. At this point, they're just there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
All right, you want to go next?
Yeah, let's go next. I mean, I can't think of anything to even talk about this match because it was just bad. So we get Sting.
Yeah, we get Sting cutting a promo, which
is my favorite thing of all time, of course. Sting with a mic.
You just love Sting in general.
I do. Sting is like almost as good as Triple H. Like,
I'd much rather watch a collection of Sting matches than a collection of Triple H matches.
Oh! Stop!
I would.
Let the hate flow through you.
It's flowing.
I may just have to change next week's card. Triple H Rock Iron Man match.
But
All right, I want to hear your defense of this next match. Well, okay. Let me qualify it with, I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's all that good. It's on the borderline for me between decent to, yeah, that's what I'd say. It's decent. You done slurping up your drink there?
maybe.
I thought this was a decent match. Could have been a lot better if it was shorter.
Them hossing out of control.
Yeah, which is something I love and enjoy, but I didn't here. I just didn't.
Well, that's on you. That's because you had the expectation of what a 20-minute Doom match would be like, and you
No,
were.
I had no expectation. I will admit this was better, but I was honestly hoping it would literally just be the Steiner brothers tossing them around for 20 minutes. But it wasn't.
I don't know. You're wrong. I mean, there's some really nice like hope spots in here. There's some.
Yeah, there's a couple of nice spots, but it didn't put together for me for a complete match to call good. It's decent. I'm not saying it's unwatchable or bad or mediocre. It's just kind of there. It's nothing that I'm going to sit there and it comes up and go, oh, let me rewatch this again.
They're definitely. It's a match that doesn't necessarily fill all of its 20 minutes as well as it could have, but it's got stretches there that are as good as anything that you'll see in like this type of tag wrestling.
Yeah, but that's because the Steiner brothers are fucking awesome.
But it's not always that. It's not all them.
Yeah, there's the Steiner brothers making Doom look awesome. I don't know. It just, you cut this down to 10 minutes, even 15, I might go good. Definitely if you cut it down to 10. But it felt so disconnected and disjointed to me because Doom can't put on a 20-minute straight match.
That's it. I mean, it's definitely a little sloppy, and like the opening's not as strong as you'd hope for a match like this. But I think overall, I thought it was, way better than I was expecting. Considering the Steiners are super green at this point, and Doom's Doom. Well, Scott's super green. Rick's been going now for like 4 or 5 years, but.
Yeah. I mean, it's the third best match on the card, but I think there's a significant drop off between the main event and the previous tag match and this match. And then there's another significant drop off to everything else.
All right, that part I won't necessarily disagree.
But, I mean, Doom won, which everyone made out to be a big deal, so I guess it was.
Well, I mean, the Steiners had kind of controlled a lot of the feud at that point, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know anything about the feud.
It's because you don't care. Sure.
It's because I was 1.
Nobody cares.
But hey, then we get Doom talking with Shivani. Was that not the greatest thing ever?
It's pretty great.
Yeah, because if there's one thing I want to see Doom do less of than wrestling is talking.
Come on, you loved it. Loved Teddy Long.
All right.
Homie, don't play that.
God, Teddy Long. Teddy. Teddy does crack me up.
I mean,
with his, I love that he kind of came out with a different do-rag each time he was out.
Well, yeah, of course.
He'd stick to one.
He's a high roller now. He's got the tag team champions, man.
Damn it. Freaking Doom. If I could ever watch another Doom match again, I would be happy. But I know I'll have to because Mike picks half the cards we watch.
Next time I'm going to find the next longest Doom match I can find, and that's going to be your...
I'm going to be out sick for a week if you need a replacement host. Anyone listening want to review a super long Doom match, you go ahead. But okay, now let's get on to an awesome match with crazy overbooking.
Yeah.
God damn it. What is it with WCW and having El Gigante in their main event involved in endings of their main event matches?
Well, this was actually like his debut.
Was it?
Yeah. And he was wearing that really great suit of armor.
Yeah. Man.
Tell me you didn't love El Gigante's suit of armor.
Are we talking like an ironic love or?
Come on, you want an action figure with that on it.
I mean, if I could set it next to the Alex Wright figure that I hear exists, according to Colt Cabana's podcast with good old Dean Ambrose, who was enthralled with it.
I'm sure an Alex Wright figure exists. He's Das Wunderkind.
It does. Apparently, Colt Cabana has it sitting in his little studio or wherever. I don't know how he does his apartment or his studio or whatever. Apparently, there's an Alex Wright figure, and I demand to have it.
Why wouldn't there be, man? I bet Alex Wright's got several action figures.
I hope so. Seriously, someone tweet me out where I can buy an Alex Wright figure.
I can tell you right now, dude. Just eBay that shit.
But yeah, this match was good.
Yes, it was weirdly overbooked at the end.
Of course it was.
And like nonsensically too.
What? WCW overbooking with that's nonsensical? Shocking.
I know, but it happened.
It kind of killed the match a bit for me.
See, whenever it comes on the end of Flair just blading his ass off. Because goddamn was Flair letting it flow.
Oh, everywhere. Everywhere. And where the fuck was he hiding his blades? Because I didn't see anything taped up on him. Freaking Flair, man.
Let's talk about that cage they used.
Yes, let's.
It was kind of like the Hell in the Cell, but it looked incredibly cheaply made.
Yeah, I you know what I think they did? I think they went and they got like a little kennel from like a hardware store and just dropped it over the ring. Like, oh hey, you want to keep your dog outdoors? Here, have this little fenced-in area. No, I want to have a crazy blonde dude bleed everywhere. Oh, well, I guess it could work for that too.
It's a big-ass kennel.
Yeah. And what was up with the top of it? Where it's all like, I don't know how curved?
Kinda. But that wasn't necessarily that strange. I mean, they used several ones that kind of had that incline there that, you know,
No, but Flair tried to climb it.
yeah, that's just because Flair's Flair.
Flair is a crazy bastard.
Yes, he is.
God. I don't want to be Flair, but I don't want to be Flair.
But I mean, yeah, what Luger does in this match, particularly considering the fact that he was sicker than shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
that seems to be the key. Let's just get Luger sick. And we can get a good match out of him.
how about let's just transport Luger to like 88 through 90, where he's more likely than not to give you a really good performance.
And put him in with one of the greatest in-ring wrestlers of all time.
Yes, that helps too.
I still can't believe we got a freaking good match involving Luger and freaking Waylon Mercy. What the hell? Oh my god, that's got to be the strangest thing of all time. But yeah, I'm actually trying to remember how to describe all of the interference at the end.
Well, somehow Ole Anderson gets the control of the cage and raises it up, and so the Horsemen come down, and Steen comes down to try and stop him, and then Barry Windham, who hadn't been seen all night, jumps in for the disqualification in a cage match.
Yeah. Damn it. But I did like, was there any explanation on commentary? Like, I don't remember them even saying like how Ole was able to do it. Like, throw something out there. Like, Ole must have bribed him.
Yeah.
But you left out El Gigante.
Yes, El Gigante makes the save.
Something you never want to hear when watching wrestling. Here comes El Gigante. Business really picking the fuck
up. But yeah, that was a great match, but horrible ending.
Well, and then the Horsemen were able to lower the cage again.
Yes.
Just beat the shit out of Luger.
So, yeah, that's kind of the way the show ends. It's such a weird. I know this was supposed to be the show that Sting won the title from Flair, that it was his injury that pushed it back to the Great American Bash, but it's such a weird ending.
Yeah, it was something. It's just, God, it was just so ridiculous.
All right, MVP, LVP.
Oh, okay. My MVP is going to Flying Brian Pillman.
Okay.
Because he's awesome and kicked ass and bumped his ass off. Oh, God. My LVP, RoboCop.
All right.
It's got to go to RoboCop.
All right. For me, MVP, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Mr. Luger.
Okay.
LVP, because he actually booked this shit, I'm giving it to Ole.
Alrighty.
His involvement in the shit finish and the fact that he actually booked that shit finish means he gets LVP.
And then he booked Sid Vicious to be in the Horseman. God damn it. Scratch that. I'm changing my LVP. My LVP is Sid Vicious for being in the Horseman. So you get a pass this time, RoboCop.
All right, so what are we watching next week? And God, I'm worried already.
Dude. What?
I said I'm worried
You're worried?
already, yes.
Well, do you not want to see someone slam a 5-ton giant?
Okay, so you're sticking with that?
I am. We haven't done a WrestleMania in a while, and WrestleMania is only a couple weeks away. So, we are going to be watching WrestleMania 3.
All right. Except for the Steamboat match, it's been years since I've watched it.
Same here. It's been at least a couple.
All right. So, got anything going this week? Any terrible articles where you're going to talk about Triple H the Great?
Oh, I think I'm going to write an article about why Triple H is our Lord and Savior. And, no, I'm going to try.
Why don't you marry him?
I wish. I'm gonna try. I was trying to get it out last week. It turned out a lot longer than I was expecting it to, so I'm gonna try and get out my first art philosophy and wrestling thing out this week. I need to get it a bit more organized. Maybe I'll just end up dividing it into 2. But yeah, and just the regular live blog and whatnot.
All right. Hey, have you heard anything on like any of the pay-per-views they're running before WrestleMania this year? I mean, I know that Evolve and DGUSA have announced theirs, but I haven't heard like anything else so far.
I mean, Chikara's not going to be there. I haven't heard of anything about what CZW is doing. ROH is running live events, but they're not pay-per-viewing it, which we didn't get to talk about yesterday, but thankfully they're teaming with Ustream for the New Japan cards. I'm trying to think. I know DGUSA and Evolve are running a few events with their new HD cameras. I think Shine's probably running an pay-per-view, if I remember right, as part of the whole WWN Live family with DGUSA and Evolve. I don't know if Shimmer's running it an pay-per-view or not like they did last year. I hope so. I will find all that out and ready for next week to discuss more.
Okay, I'm looking here at least through WWN, which, yeah, I probably should have thought about looking at that. It looks like Evolve has a Thursday night show.
Oh, they're running a Thursday night show.
And then Friday there is a Wrestling Odyssey.
One of their random more local promotions, I guess.
It looks like it's just kind of a mix of DGUSA and Shine and everything and FIP and...
Yeah, it's... I don't know why they just keep them all as separate.
And then a Kaiju Big Battle show.
Oh, that's right. I forgot they were running with the Live family for that.
And on Saturday there's a Shimmer and a DGUSA show.
Okay, Shimmer's running with them. Sweet.
So, looks like there will be plenty of... See, and I know that they might end up making more money the other way. It seems like if they have so many events in that short of time, why not charge like $40 or $50 for like an unlimited pass?
I don't know.
Because most people, I don't think, are going to order all of them.
I mean, they usually do their little whole discounted before you buy. But yeah, I mean, even shit. What are you talking about? Like over $100 a wrestling?
Let's see, they usually run $10 a show unless you buy them like
The day.
yeah. So it'd be $60. You know,
$60?
if they charge
45?
yeah.
Like I don't know, and I wonder if it would be something that was who knows. I don't always understand what they're thinking there. But yeah. You excited for your boy Roderick Strong? WWE wrestler?
I don't think it'll happen.
Dude, I'm telling you, check out non-ROH Strong. He is entertaining as hell. I could just like feel like you just like shaking your head as you typed Roderick Strong was named best at the tryout, including on the stick.
I just have a hard time believing it. It'd
How
be like
retarded is it?
shaking. It'd be like changing my worldview. It'd be like if you all of a sudden woke up one day and had this revelation that Sting was an all-time great worker.
I'm not even talking about just a worker with Sting. Don't get me started on that. You know it's everything else that he sucks at too. Dude, I'm telling you, just freaking, I will collect some videos and send them for you to watch of Roderick Strong cutting good promos. He's even cutting good promos in ROH now with the whole decade stuff.
The decade stuff, I'm finding it really hard to kind of, and maybe it is just because, like, there's only one person involved in that I have any kind of, you know,
You're not a BJ Whitmer isn't your boy?
he is not.
Shame on you.
Yeah, maybe so.
But god damn it, how is Jimmy Jacobs not in WWE?
Hell if I know.
I know he's tiny. Cruiserweight show. Let's go.
Instead, he's in every single independent that ever is.
He has taken over as like the heel in like so many different promotions right now. Like he's the ultimate, like all at once. It's like the entire independent scene decided, hey, let's turn Jimmy Jacob heel in every single promotion imaginable. Like he's the ultimate Chikara bad guy right now. Like, oh my god, Jimmy Jacob just had a like complete heel turn in everything known to man. And it's awesome because Jimmy Jacobs is awesome.
He is, but I would have liked to have seen more of him basically trying to be a babyface in Ring of Honor.
Yeah. I think the issue with that though was they got a quick logjam of faces that came in there at once, like with all the returning people. Like it was where did he fit in as a face there?
Well, maybe he can take Kevin Steen's spot once Steen goes and signs wherever he ends up signing.
Yeah. Alrighty, we should probably get off.
All right.
Unless you got something else you want to talk about.
Not particularly. I'm
Little post game material.
tired of talking with you.
That hurts, bro. That hurts.
It should. It's designed to.
God, why are you such a dick?
Because I can
All I do is love you. All I do is love you and talk with you every week.
It make me watch.
We only talk once a
Triple
week,
H
maybe
matches.
twice. There's no Triple H next week.
No, but usually
Usually.
you like to punish me by making me watch Triple H.
It's not a punishment. It's enlightening. It's a treat, all right?
No, it is a
You
punishment.
should be thankful. You should be thankful that I give you the opportunity to watch so much Triple H.
All right, so this has been
episode number 55 of Off the Top Rope Pro Wrestling Podcast. Be sure to tune in next week. We'll be talking all the news of the week, as well as WrestleMania 3. For Rex, this is Mike. We'll see you all next week, and buy the shirt.
The Z-Man is my spirit guide.
All right, later, everybody.
Later.